Hey guys, this is Victor Cozzetto from Vitagenics, and today I have a testimonial for you that I think is amazing. And so please try to listen and learn from this, okay? I've been with this client for maybe a couple of years now, actually, and it's pretty amazing. Just a young guy, Jared Weiss, who's gone through some incredible things, and he's doing really well. So please watch and learn. I'm going to give you a little bit of a summary just so you know what's coming, okay? To begin with, when you see him now, as you see him now, he's just 25 years old. He's strong, he's energetic, he's a very active young man. He's got his own Instagram. Be sure to check that out, and his own YouTube channel so you can watch him, follow him, because he's sharing his experience. Also take note, at this time, he still has a speech impediment. And this is from everything he went through, actually, where he suffered neurological damage, etc. So he's been through quite a bit. I mean, he could not walk or talk. All right. As of, we go back, I think it started in 2014, and you'll see in the interview, right? He couldn't eat most foods. He was down to like two foods at one point. And this started, you're going to hear the history of what it started with and how and when he went through. He actually ended up being intubated and ventilated, and he was being, fed through a feeding tube. He was in a coma. He was out of it. Okay, for a while, but again, right, he recovered from that. He went through a bunch of other things. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with him, and they just kept giving him tons of antibiotics, steroids. He went through many hospitals, etc. And then about 2 years after all of that is when you might say things got even worse, kind of, or like his digestive system fell apart. And then I met him about 2 years ago, at some point after that. And so since then, over the last couple of years, he's been able to get back to eating a very diverse diet. But he had like everything you can think of, the bad skin, feeling weak, et cetera, et cetera. But now he's got great skin. He's in great shape. He's very energetic. He can eat almost anything. He just continues to add new foods without having issues. And he's still improving. And so please watch, learn, even enjoy. He's just a really great guy. And it's been an honor and a pleasure for me to work with him. So I hope you like it. Okay. Please be a little patient in the end, in the beginning, I should say, because you'll see there is a little bit of stuttering, but he gets into a pretty good groove. And it doesn't matter to him. Like I said, he's out there on YouTube and he's doing great and getting better all the time. Enjoy. Today, I am fortunate to have one of my longtime clients, Jared Weiss. Did I pronounce your name
Yes,
correctly?
got it.
Okay. Okay, very good, very good. So I think you have a really amazing story and amazing journey. And I've been really excited to watch you actually share so much out on your Instagram account. So for people that don't know, I'll have his link to his Instagram. So that's really cool. And now we're finally going to share some of your journey here, because not everybody realizes that you and I are connected,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So yeah, so it's cool. So thank you, Jared, for um, allowing me to share your story, because of course I respect, most people, they want to keep their health issues private. So it takes a lot of courage to come out and share. But like I said, you've already started sharing so much
Right.
on Instagram. So really, really good. So give us a little bit of background on, let's jump back a couple of years, right? Because we've known
Right.
each other for a couple of years now.
Right.
So your major issues for you, your major challenges, what
Right.
were they?
So I'm starting back in 2014. Actually, I'm 3 weeks into my first ever college semester. I started to get I'm extremely sick. No one really knew what was going on. I'm jumping back prior to when I even went to college. I actually gotten a certain shot, so we're probably not allowed to talk about this on YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah.
so anyways, I'm getting that shot, played somewhat of a role, in me getting sick. There's no way of determining how much of a role it was.
Right.
So then 3 weeks into my college semester, I started to get really sick. I was misdiagnosed with the flu. And then a few days later, it turns out I had a severe pneumonia in one of my lungs.
No.
And then so then from there, the first doctor ended up giving me 21 different antibiotics.
Whoa.
Which is insane, obviously.
Mm.
Yes, so I was given 21 different antibiotics. And then from there my body went into this crazy state. Everything was just going wrong or whatever. Also as I've learned, body is never actually wrong. The problem is actually the inputs, as well as the environment, the body is placed in. Obviously in being given 21 different antibiotics, and what
Yes.
will cause your body to go crazy. So then from there, then I was, and then I was really having trouble breathing, and then
Mm.
I don't remember whether this was at the first hospital, or maybe the second hospital, but I was then intubated. I was placed on a ventilator in a feeding tube
Wow.
for 10 days, I think. And then I was also placed into a medically induced coma for 3 days, I believe.
Wow.
And so yeah, I'm so everything was really going downhill pretty fast. But then so then the second doctor, he didn't exactly know what was going on, but at the same time, supposedly he was confident in how to treat it, I guess you'd say. So he ended up putting me on high doses of steroids.
Oh.
He also took me off of most of the antibiotics I was on from the first hospital. So he put me on some intravenous steroids, high doses of that. And
Wow.
then but then also my body started having tons of involuntary movements, so yeah, it's I started kicking the bed and stuff. I just had no control over any of this. And also during this time, I also had a fever that went up to 104, I think, or something like.
Wow.
So the
Mhm.
doctors had to give me they had to give me these ice blankets to cool me down or whatever. But once again, as I've learned, the body is never wrong.
Right. Right.
So it's to be honest, the way that I actually tell the story it's actually changed. Especially over the past few years. Especially because at the time I was actually told that what I had was an autoimmune response, but as I learned, the body never actually attacks itself. So
Mm.
so anyways, I wasn't able to walk or talk at all for the next 2 weeks, I believe.
Wow.
But then I ended up in four different hospitals over a span of 6 weeks. And I started to recover a little bit from there. But my speech was initially extremely slurred, actually. Then over the next 6 months, I was on tapering doses of the steroids. And then from there, in the next year or two, I was still working with some therapists and stuff. But I ended up recovering a lot. But then towards the end of 2016, and then also at the end of 2017, I started getting severe digestive issues,
Hmm.
which, as I've learned, largely resulted from all the medication I was on back
Right.
2014, whether it was the steroids, the antibiotics, I'm being in a coma, all that stuff, probably
Mm.
probably messed with my whole body. so then from there, wait, so then from there, yeah, and so I started, so then I also like started getting this like stammer and stutter in my speech. And I actually got to a point like where like I was only able to digest two foods, and but, like, to be honest, like I wasn't even digesting those foods properly. Like,
Mm.
so then now we're heading into 2018, like and like I'm still having the neurological issues, like still have no idea like what's going on, like I'm still having
Mm.
severe digestive issues, like whether it was like throwing up a lot, like whether it was like severe acid reflux, like
Wow.
tons of stomach issues. And like during this time, like I probably went to like over like 20 different doctors, like every single one of them couldn't find any issues. Like like one of them wanted to give me antidepressants, one of them wanted to give me like
Oh,
anti-anxiety stuff, one of them wanted to give me antacids, like for the reflux or whatever. So like obviously like my body was like trying to talk to me, but like unfortunately like I still didn't understand like what my body was saying yet. So that
mm.
so then 2019 through 20 through like maybe like I'm pretty sure like I found you in like November of 2020, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I guess at some point in 2020 we hooked up.
Right.
It's been a couple of years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like 2019 through 2020, like I was actually working with like this other like naturopath, but like unfortunately, if she didn't have the complete like knowledge, like to get me back to get me back to understanding why everything was going on the way it was, and also she was just like giving me tons of different supplements and stuff,
Uh,
but like unfortunately so like, maybe I started to feel like a little bit better, so like some of the stuff she did wasn't like all bad, but like she just didn't have like complete knowledge like when it came to the toxins, like when it came like into like the emotional stuff.
right.
So it's like
Right.
her knowledge like wasn't like complete enough, as I would say yours was like as far as like teaching me like how to understand what was actually going on. So
Well,
but
thank you for your kind words.
yes,
Thank you.
of course. So then at the end of 2020, I found you, and since then I've been working with you, and like I've been making all these improvements. I've been digesting so many more foods properly. I've been sleeping better. I've been like feeling less stress overall. I'm still like not there yet, as you know, but like I'm still like I've been like making tons of improvements.
You physically, you look amazing, right?
And
So you're in really
thank
good
you.
physical shape now,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
you
Thank
really,
you.
you look vibrant and
Mm.
strong. And I guess you're feeling really strong too.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, right. So you're definitely absorbing a lot more nutrition,
Yeah, 100%.
right?
Yeah, so like back in like 2018, you can even tell like I'm just by like looking at my body. So like I was still like working out a lot at the time. I'm like you could tell like my body just like wasn't like properly nourished. Like
Mm,
and also like you can even tell like my skin just like wasn't like as like vibrant like as it is now.
no.
Probably because like my body was like holding on like so many different toxins.
Right, right. Yeah, you've been going through a lot of different some detox reactions too,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So
Yeah,
we talk about that a lot
yeah,
as different things pop up. But
right.
yeah, you're right. Your health just continues to improve as you go through these detox events. Yeah, so it's been for me, it's been really great to watch because you know, like as you explained, as people can probably imagine, with such a long history of really intensive hospital care, you can really accumulate a lot of toxins,
Yeah.
right? So especially because your body, like all those antibiotics, disables so much of your ability to
Mhm.
detox too.
Right,
So you've been going through a lot of detox stuff, but yeah, you've been, you know, taking all the different things to help you get through it,
right.
right? So
Yes.
it's been really good. It's been an honor and a privilege for me to watch you go through this, yeah, and continue
Thank
to
you so
improve.
much.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, no, no, thank you. Like I said, it's a privilege to be able to work with you. So, um, yeah, and that's like it really is amazing. And so how old are you now?
I'm 25 now.
Right? So just 25 years
Yeah.
old, and man, you went through so much
Yeah.
already in your
At a
life.
young age. Yeah, yeah. It's like I definitely lived enough like for like 5 lives, like for some other people.
Right, right, exactly. But you've also learned so much, right?
Right.
So
Yes.
yeah, so I like to remind people that, right, of course we don't want to suffer and go through these horrifying experiences. But when we're able to learn from it, right, we really
Right.
turn that negative into a positive.
Right, 1,000%. Like it comes like one of like the other things I actually often like to say is that like you have to like be able like to feel in order to heal. So it's like there's no like shortcuts. Like there's no like magic pill out there. So it's like but then like as a result of like feeling everything like, to the fullest extent and then as a result like you end up like gaining so much more in the process you end up like gaining so much more knowledge and so much more life experience
Mm.
like ultimately makes you into like a better person.
Yes, yes, I agree. I think you're a good example of a person that kind of embodies the Vitagenics protocol,
Yes, definitely.
right? So you represent a lot of my hidden agenda, right? So, I
Right.
know people just want to say, okay, what do I take? Just tell me what to
Right.
take. But the idea is like, kefir and broth and stuff
Mhm.
is to really connect people more to their food, their life,
Right.
right? So, right, because it's a very, very holistic thing, right? The emotional
Right.
issues, not, of course, I talk about, it's all about nourishing and detoxing, but within those two things, like the
Mhm.
emotional content
Right.
is really important, and our idea of like belonging to the
Relationship.
world. Yes, yes, right, right. So you like, for example, I think even your sharing on Instagram, I think is really cool, right?
Mhm.
Because you've become really comfortable with who you are
Yes,
and
definitely.
where you are. And so even still having the I guess we would say, so you look at it as like a neurological issue that's impacting
Right.
the speech right now, which so for me, nothing is impossible, you know, to recover from.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So we see impossible things happen all the time. And as we've spoken before, like as long as we take time limits out of the equation, right? We make time our friend instead of our enemy, right? We just
Right.
relax, we stay on the path and just see how things go.
Mhm.
Right. And so you can kind of see evidence, right? Because you continue to experience periodic detox events,
Yes, definitely.
right? Right. So you hit these little bumps in the road. And then, when you look back, you can see, wow, okay, I'm feeling better now than I was.
Right.
So clearly I'm still moving forward, even when you hit these periods of not feeling perfect. Um,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's like one of the things like a lot of people like don't understand when it comes to detoxing is that like a lot of times you initially it's like you initially feel like worse but then like over time you sort of like
Yeah.
look back and then you realize how much better you actually feel.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. Sometimes we have to take one step back in order to take two steps forward.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So I think you're doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
You've been doing a lot of that. So you are, I mentioned about the Vitagenics protocol.
Right.
So let's just give a quick rundown on the things that you've been actively using. And I'll
Right.
actually let you, rather than me just
All right.
repeating it,
All right.
right?
So should I start?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Let's see. So I'm doing. the PBX zeolite. So like I'm doing that like 5 or 6 sprays and 3 times per day.
Oh, very cool. Okay,
And I'm doing the regular PB. So like I'm doing that like 4 to 5 drops 3 times per day.
cool.
Then I'm doing calcium bentonite clay. I'm doing that 1 to 2 times per day. I'm doing like half a teaspoon each, and
Cool,
then
cool.
I'm doing kefir. Like so like I've actually been having like tons and tons of kefir actually.
It's so good, right? It's so,
Yeah, like
oh my gosh.
yeah, kefir, to be honest, like it's actually probably like my new like favorite food. Honestly, I
Yeah,
love.
no, I understand. I understand.
Yeah,
Can you believe it's healthy for you? I mean, it
no,
tastes so amazing.
it's like crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like so kefir, I've been doing 2 to 3 times per day. But like
Wow.
I've been having it like in like these big giant bowls also. Like
Oh, cool.
yeah, so like I've been having kefir, and then I've also been doing bone broth. Like so it's like initially when I first started, I was only doing like 2 to 3 hours of like the simmering.
Uh,
But like now I'm actually up to like 10 hours of simmering bone broth.
cool, cool.
Like I've been doing that. And then I've been doing the MSM. I've been having like I'm not sure like how much like it actually equates to, but like I've been having like 5 or 6 capsules per day of the MSM.
Okay, yeah, about 600 about 6 grams, we could say.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, great. Okay,
And
cool.
then I've been doing the magnesium oil spray. I so like
Okay.
I probably do like 7 sprays like every like night, I guess I'd say.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then
Right.
I've also been doing clay along with like Epsom salt like baths too.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's
Very
like
nice.
I might do those like twice a week.
Nice.
And then what else? Wait, what else is part of the protocol?
Well, we talk about, like sunshine and grounding
Yeah,
and
so I've incorporated grounding for like 10 to like 12 minutes and
fantastic.
just about every day. And like I also like make sure I can like get outside, like like take walks, like to like make sure like I'm getting like the natural sunlight. And then
Awesome.
what else? The
Well,
rest.
you're doing some other, actually, you know what? I'll lead into something that I just shared because you were eager to get started. We were talking about the EMF protection,
Yes.
right? So of course, grounding and sunshine helps us with that. But we were talking about that, and you were really interested in the Somavedic.
Vedic, yes. So like I
Mhm.
actually just ordered that like on Monday, I think. Like I think it's supposed to come either today or tomorrow.
Yeah, that's really nice. By the way, you'll enjoy. I just before this 1 hour ago, I just did the Q&A in the
Mhm.
group, and we talked about the Somavedic
Oh,
devices a lot.
really?
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
So I mentioned your name.
Really?
Yeah. So because what yeah, I was waiting. I had been waiting for like a big, because sometimes they do special sales, and
Oh,
I
okay.
was hoping, okay, maybe there'll be a New Year's sale, or maybe there'll be a spring sale, but they didn't come. And so
Uh-huh.
when you mentioned it, I was like, oh, okay, it's time for me to just kind of go public
Right.
with this about the Somavedic. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I started mentioning it. So I thought that the timing is good. Um, because I'm really concerned like you, right? I mean,
EMF
I
read.
talk about it a lot, but I've been kind of holding back on technology recommendations for people,
Right.
specifically. But I'm really glad actually that you are very eager to get into that, because
Yeah.
I do think it's so important. And as you know, one of the reasons I think the PBX zeolite is so important is to make us less vulnerable to the EMFs too.
Right. Oh yeah, so like, speaking of that, like I've also been doing the fulvic and humic acid. So like
Nice, right, right. So
like
did you see also that? So that was previously called Boo,
right.
and now it's back. I have it
Yes.
back on the, yeah.
I
So
saw.
Yeah. So I mean, that's really awesome. So you really have everything going, um, except maybe the EM1. Um, the EM1 is the special microbes for the environment. I don't know, you might not be familiar with that so much. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's the only thing I mentioned. Of course, my protocol is just the base.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you really go, and so I think the other thing that's amazing is you used it kind of just as your base. And you really like exercise is so
Right.
important,
Yes.
right? And you're really embracing that. You're really active now,
Mhm. Yeah.
right?
Like something else like I also like is like movement is medicine.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely. 100%. Yeah, and I think movement compensates for a lot. When I say compensate, mean if we're really active, we can abuse ourselves a little bit more. Right? We can handle more of the bad food and more of the toxicity because an active body is going to help us to detox
right.
more, right? And
Mhm.
so, for example, in your case, you're probably also consuming more water,
Yes.
right? And which is a good thing.
And also going along the same lines, like I've actually mostly stopped consuming plain water. Like it's like I've been having like a lot of like coconut water. I've been having like a lot of like teas. Like obviously I've been having a lot of like broth and kefir also.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, that's another really good point. So, yeah, you must have watched my videos on hydration.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Really good. Yeah. Yeah. Good. So you're like a great student too, right?
Thank
So,
you. Yes, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So you're like the student becoming the master.
Yes,
Right.
yeah,
So, yeah. So, you've been doing a really good job. So I'm really excited. And it's really, it'll be really, really interesting to me. Because of course, for you, I guess the biggest remaining challenge for you probably is the speech,
yes,
right?
definitely,
Right.
yeah,
So that's something that like nobody has a clue about,
right,
right? But I love I'll say like your confidence, right? So here you are speaking with me. I think
right,
this is a huge, huge thing too, right? You just you keep going on like it doesn't exist,
uh-huh,
right?
yeah,
That issue doesn't exist, and
mm-hmm,
you just move forward. And at some point, it's not going to exist,
yeah, uh-huh,
right?
yeah,
Right. However long it takes, right?
right,
So you just keep detoxing and keep implementing things. So you're right. So you're going to have that Somavedic device like in a
yes,
couple of days.
yeah.
So you'll be able, if you are drinking water, you're going to be able to structure your water with that.
Yes, yeah. It's actually something interesting. Like, I actually learned about that back in like Tom Cowan's book.
Nice.
I remember like he specifically mentioned something like when it came like to like structuring water. And then like I noticed like the same thing when it came to the Somavedic device. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it's really nice. That's like a nice side benefit, but a very powerful benefit to structure the water.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's really, I think it's a very important thing. So very,
Yeah.
very cool. So yeah, so I'm excited, yeah, to see you moving forward, because yeah, I mean, like the EMFs are one of the most dangerous things for all of humanity right now,
Yeah.
right? Because
Uh-huh.
it just continues to increase. But
Yeah.
again, you're just, you're addressing the issue, right? You've already been
Right.
doing the grounding and sunshine. Now you're going to add that. Yeah, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you.
Me too.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, yeah. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Let's see if I got any other. Or before I even think of any other questions, is there anything else that you want to talk about? You had mentioned at you mentioned very quickly at the start about like even emotional issues and things like that,
Yes.
right? And actually, even us doing this video together, I feel is like kind of even helping to address that. But
Right.
do you want to talk about that a bit more?
So like let me see. So like I'm going back to like what I was saying before, when like it comes like it's like being able like to feel in order to heal. So like a lot of people like I've noticed try to like suppress their emotions, like always trying to like suppress like symptoms and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
like ultimately, the only way like to really be able like to be able like to like work through your emotions like is ultimately to be able like to feel them like and like the goal should never be to like push them away like and so like for instance like every morning and also just about like every night too like I do meditation
Fantastic.
but like so it's like when I first started meditating, which is like probably when I was like back in high school, I used to try to like push away the bad thoughts. Like I used to try to force those away, and but then I realized like the goal of meditation is not actually to stop yourself like, from like feeling the bad thoughts.
Mm.
Like the goal is actually to just like be able like to sit there with them like and like allow them to pass through like so it's like a large part of that connects like back like to like our emotions like um, um,
Yes.
and then also like wait there's something else I was just gonna say when it comes
About repressing or trapping the emotions.
yes
Yes.
wait so what wait
Were you going to lead into like the emotion code
yes,
stuff, like
yes,
releasing trapped
yeah,
emotions?
yes, yes, and so it's like also like when it comes to when it comes to trapped emotions, that like a lot of them will actually affect how we like proceed like certain like situations. So like for instance, if there's like a situation that like made us like sad years ago or something like that
Hmm.
like and then like we're confronted with that situation once again like if the trapped emotion is still there then like you're gonna like react like the same way so what like the emotion code does is like it helps like bring it like to the surface I guess and like helps like bring it out of you did I say that right in a sense
Yeah, well, right. So there are many different ways to try to release. We might say a really common word is like repressed,
right
right? A lot of people say we have repressed emotions. Of course, in the emotion code technique, we refer to them as trapped emotions
right
that we want to release. So, and of course, the whole field of psychology, right? People go through psychoanalysis for decades trying to release these repressed emotions, right? Trying to dig
right
into the psyche.
Mhm.
But of course, we don't have 10, 20, 30, 40 years to wait,
Uh,
always to
right.
release these.
Yeah.
Um, and so there are all these different methods and of course, I love the emotion code. In
Right.
fact, I've got to, I got to try to work with you some more on that.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, the last time you tried to work with me, you ran into like one of like my heart walls. I think.
Yes, yes. So sometimes for me too, I sometimes, I find the person is not ready
Right.
to
Yeah.
release. Yeah.
Yes.
And so sometimes I get where
That
it's like,
makes
wow,
sense.
yeah, I
Right.
can't do it. So, but and then we just haven't had a chance to hook up
Right. Yeah.
and do
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
again.
That's true.
So, but that's another thing. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Another
We'll work on
powerful
that.
tool.
Right, right. And in the meantime, it's just like your awareness of that, I think, is a very powerful thing,
Yeah.
right? Because it's helping you, right? Your awareness of meditation and all these other things,
Right.
I think is really good, really
Hmm.
good. So you're definitely taking a very, at this point in your life, or for the last 2 years, you've been taking a very holistic
Yes.
approach,
A
right?
hundred.
And making amazing progress. Not 100% healed yet,
Right.
um, but that's okay. I mean, like, right, like look at you, right? Look
Mhm.
at what you're able to do,
Right.
right? You're on the road to wellness and doing real good.
Like going on the same lines, I was actually, I was actually recently saying to my mom, I was having dinner, and like the dinner consisted of like five foods, probably just like 4 or 5 months ago, I would have had a severe reaction to.
Wow.
But then to see like how, like now like I'm like able like to eat all these foods like and like I'm able like to like reap like the rewards like from all like the work I put in and like it ends up like being like very like gratifying, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, that was so, yeah, you rewarded yourself with food.
Yeah.
So like even that's amazing. Like, that, that you're pointing out that. So for example, 6 months ago, we could have done a video because you were,
Right.
oh, you've been doing amazing for a while now. And yet in the last 6 months, like you just recently noticed that,
Right.
wow, you made even more progress. You're able to
Yeah.
consume more variety of food. Your body's handling it. Right.
Should I actually mention like what foods I've been able to add?
Sure, that's a pretty good
Yeah.
point. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So,
So like prior to starting the Vitagenics, I was only able to eat like pretty much like 4 or 5 different foods. Like I was eating steak, eggs, spinach, and sweet potato, and then like maybe I was having like some like fruits and whatnot. But like over the past like few months, like I've been adding salmon, chicken, avocado. Wait, what else?
nice.
Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, bacon, which is like crazy. Like for me to be able to have like bacon, that's like crazy. And
That's heaven too, right? Bacon is
yeah, oh
so
yeah,
delicious.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then also rice and what else? So like to be honest, like every food I've tried like over the past few months, like has like worked for me every time, like which is like amazing.
That is incredible. Yeah. So that's interesting because you might be normal at this point, but of course you're being careful to just move slowly
Right.
and
Yes.
test yourself, which
Yes.
is really smart, requires patience and discipline.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that you've been so disciplined. And like, for example, you mentioned like a cauliflower and like cruciferous vegetables
Right.
can be brutal for
Yeah.
people. So that's pretty amazing that you handled
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's really good. And I know like, so because right, we communicate periodically quite a lot
Yeah. Yeah.
because so recently you made some adjustments with the clay,
Yeah.
right? And so like we often talk about how, yeah, your body is you're gonna have to adjust things as you move forward because you change. And so you made adjustments with clay and continue to do good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then the other thing was, um, so I think you noticed you actually are becoming more, I don't know if I don't really want to say more sensitive or more reactive. Like we talked about that, how
Yeah.
as we get healthier, we do become more sensitive. Our body reacts to tell us, we're able to respond to things
With
that maybe,
symptoms.
yeah,
Right.
right, right. It doesn't mean we're sick. It's actually the normal
Yes.
functioning,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
So you,
yeah. So like being able to understand like your body's never actually against you. So like the goal like, is always like to understand is to understand like why your body like is doing what it's doing, so that like you're actually able to like help it along, as opposed to like to shutting it up like with like medication or whatnot.
right, right, exactly, exactly. We don't want to just shut things down. Things are happening for a reason. Right,
Right.
right. Yeah. And it's amazing because you've been through so much. I mean, a person that was comatose,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you were literal and ventilated. I mean, most people don't survive ventilation.
Mm,
Just
right.
for whatever reasons, they just don't survive it. So you've been through, that's a lot of intense drugs
Yeah.
even when you
Oh,
go
yeah.
through that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I was given like so many like sedatives and so many like
Yeah.
so many like really like really like really like harsh drugs probably.
Right, right. And like all the x-rays that you constantly go
Yeah.
through, whether they're MRIs or CAT scans or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
So,
I think I was also given like two different like spinal taps
oh my gosh.
yeah.
Pain, those are very painful, or were you
Yeah.
unconscious? Or, oh,
So like one of them, I'm pretty sure one of them like I was unconscious for, but like the other one like I actually was conscious for. Like
oh,
I actually remember it now.
wow. Wow. Okay. Sorry to bring up that
No, no,
traumatic
no, no.
memory.
It's okay.
But yeah, amazing that you've been through all that. Yeah, it's really great. And so are you on drugs now for
No,
anything? Right.
I'm
So
not.
you,
I'm completely completely holistic now.
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that's so amazing. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, really, really excited. Yeah. So again, I guess maybe I can try to wrap this up because I mean, you have so much amazing experience to share. But again, people can follow you on
Right.
Instagram
Yes.
and see things because you do. I think it's really cool. Like, you tap into a lot of different stuff and a lot of different people, and I think it's really, really good. And you're sharing that information. And I think you're a great um, role model for a lot of
Thank
people.
you.
And I think a lot of people, and
My goal.
sadly, a lot of young people, I mean, you're just a young guy, but I mean, I have a lot of clients and followers that are just in their 20s
Yeah.
or in their 30s, and they've been devastated. But they can recover.
Right, like especially these days, the world that we're living in, like, has become so much more like toxic, like
Yes.
is so it's like as a result, I've actually been noticing tons of like younger kids, have been going on medication,
Yeah.
like, so many things, and then they've been ending up with like tons of health issues,
Yes. Yeah,
so
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's, of course, as you know, a lot of people that get the
yes,
jab or
yes.
so, that suffer like you did after that, or
Uh,
even worse, unfortunately.
right, especially when it comes like this specific one,
Yes, right. Recently, we have so many more now. It's very,
it's
very sad.
crazy.
Yeah, unfortunate. But you've got the tools now to help shield
Yes,
you and detox.
yes,
And it's really great that you started so young. I mean, of course, there are older people that I work with that they have 30, 40, 50 years of toxicity
yeah,
that they have to get rid of.
uh,
And there's kind of a trade-off because the people that are older, for example, like even me, right? I'm more than twice your age,
right.
right? So actually, I'll be 58 tomorrow.
Oh wow,
But uh,
mm,
thank
happy
you,
birthday.
thank you. But in my case, I did not have as many vaccines when I was born,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure I heard like somewhere like the other day like maybe they're up like to 72 doses.
Yeah,
Like,
right, right. It's crazy what's going on now, right? So you got a lot more of that than I did. So
yeah.
that put you at a big disadvantage.
Right. Actually, speaking of which, growing up, I actually had strep throat like all the time,
Mm,
and also like tons of like ear infections all the time too.
right,
So
right.
it definitely makes me wonder like how much of that could have been from.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, the same, like, my daughter, right? When I started her on natural things when she was 3 years old. And
Wow.
she was born in Japan.
Uh,
They still do a lot of shots, but it's
right.
different. A lot of the things in the US are illegal in Japan.
Oh wow.
So it was a lot less for her. And then by the time she was 3, I started using colloidal silver.
Right.
So up to that point, she was getting ear infections and everything also. And
Uh,
then once we went natural, like, I mean, you've maybe
yeah.
seen my video. She like
Yeah, yeah,
never missed a day of
yeah, yeah,
school.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I remember that video.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a good
Cool.
one.
And
Yeah.
she's still pretty healthy, right, honey? Yeah. So yeah, she's back here. Anyway, all right, yeah. So I thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much
Uh,
for having me.
Yeah, yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure. And I will probably do some more stuff
Yes,
in the
definitely.
future. Maybe,
Definitely.
maybe we'll talk about the Somavedic stuff or
Yes.
something,
Yes, that would be
um,
awesome.
and even revisit your where you are with your health like a
Yeah.
year from now,
Uh-huh. That'd
etc.
be awesome.
Cool, cool. All right, thank you so much, Jared. That was awesome.
Thank you so
That was
much
awesome.
for helping me with everything.
My pleasure. Like I said, it's been an honor and a privilege. So. Right. That's right. That was the one thing we didn't
Right.
mention.
Yeah.
That would have been actually pretty cool for us to even mention that because
Right.
that's a we could have talked about like the family dynamic is also very important.
Yeah.
And so your situation there too is really excellent because you've got really good support,
Right.
which your parents are wonderful,
Hmm.
but
They're
they
also
are skeptical about
well,
some things.
well, like and they're also like they're also like extra like overprotective. I get
Right, right. Exactly. They're overprotective of you. Yeah. And that's can't blame them for
right.
that, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, and actually that was wonderful because we did our private coaching session was not exactly private. Your
Right.
parents, yeah.
Yeah.
So, right. So your parents were included.
Yeah.
You know what, Jared,
What?
I should take this clip, these last 2 minutes and put it in.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I'll let
Yeah.
me do that because that's,
Sounds
I
good.
think this is important
Uh-huh.
because again, right, we talked about the whole emotional thing and the emotional thing, and family support is wonderful. And again, right, your parents are amazing,
Right.
but they've got to also do what's comfortable for them.
Right.
And so it's a challenge. We all have to work together.
Uh, yeah.
Right. So that's nice. It's nice to see that evolve over time too.
Right.
Cool.
Right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. That was
My
awesome,
pleasure.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, and keep up the great work,
Thank you.
man.
Yes. I
Good, good.
definitely
And say hi to your parents for me and give
yes.
them my best.
Yes.